16 stealth fighters suddenly weren't stealth anymore. At 38,000 feet deep over Iran, Israeli pilots believed the mission was already won. Air defenses destroyed, targets lined up, straight path home. But in the next few seconds, everything changed. Because something they thought was gone was already watching them. 9 days of strikes had wiped out Iran's air defenses. Or at least, that's what the intel said. But Iran had played a different game. On March 3rd, Israel destroyed what looked exactly like an S-300 system. Same shape, same heat signature, even debris that looked convincing from satellites. It was all fake. The real system had been moved 50 kilometers into the mountains, sitting completely silent. And now, 16 Israeli jets had just flown straight into its kill zone. Then, without warning, the radar turned on. The pilots had about 90 seconds to live. Normally, F-35s are nearly invisible, but not tonight. Each jet was loaded, heavy. Bombs mounted externally, turning stealth fighters into radar beacons. Israel calls it beast mode. The S-300 saw everything, but the moment it activated, it also exposed itself. Far away, a US electronic warfare jet caught the signal instantly. Coordinates locked, missile launched. Now it was a race. 60 seconds. The S-300 began tightening its radar. 50 seconds. Still searching. 40 seconds. One switch, and missiles would launch. Then, impact. The anti-radiation missile slammed into the radar at over Mach 2. The entire system vanished in a flash. 4 seconds later, and the jets wouldn't be here. But that moment revealed something worse. They had no backup plan. The mission stretched nearly 1,800 kilometers. Each way. Normally, tankers would keep them alive. Not tonight. No tankers meant no second chances. Every turn, every maneuver burned fuel they didn't have. That close call with the S-300, it already pushed them past safe limits. And they hadn't even reached the main targets yet. Then the next threat appeared. Right inside the target, a Russian-made Pantsir system, hidden between fuel tanks. Too close, too sudden, no escort nearby to help. The pilot had a choice: abort the strike or fly straight into danger. He stayed on course. 8 seconds. That's how long he would be exposed to radar-guided cannons firing thousands of rounds per minute. The bomb dropped. Missile launched. For 3 seconds, everything depended on the jet's electronic warfare system. Then, the signal broke. The missile missed, barely. Then the fuel tanks ignited. One explosion turned into many. Fireballs climbed hundreds of meters into the sky. The entire area lit up like daylight. Mission accomplished, right? Not even close. Because the smoke from those fires created a new threat. A massive wall, stretching across the next flight path. The next wave of jets flew straight into. Pilots couldn't see their targets. Sensors struggled. And then it got worse. A mobile GPS jammer activated. Now bombs couldn't see and couldn't think. 2 systems failing at once. A 2,000-pound bomb could now drift hundreds of meters off target, with no way to catch it in time. Then someone noticed something strange. The coordinates didn't match reality. One pilot used radar to map the ground through smoke and realized everything was shifted. So he did something no one planned. He corrected the targets manually, mid-mission, and sent the updates to every aircraft in the sky. Now the entire strike depended on one improvised calculation. While everyone focused on the ground, something else was climbing in the dark. An Iranian MiG-29. No radar, no signals, completely invisible. It locked onto an Israeli jet using only heat, closing in 10 kilometers, 8 kilometers, seconds from firing. Then, an F-35 spotted it at the last moment. Radar locked. The MiG pilot didn't hesitate. He turned and disappeared into the chaos. No missile fired, but it was close enough. Closer than anyone expected. The last target was the most dangerous. A massive refinery. Hit the wrong point and trigger a chain reaction no one could control. The pilot couldn't even see it. Smoke covered everything. Fuel was nearly gone. One pass, that's it. The bomb dropped, guided only by data, math, and trust. It fell through rising heat columns powerful enough to throw it off course. At the last second, it corrected. Impact. Perfect. Just enough to destroy the target without setting off something far worse. The mission succeeded, but just barely. one hidden missile system, one mobile jammer, one unexpected fighter. That's all it took to nearly change everything. Because in modern warfare, destroyed doesn't always mean gone. Sometimes it just means waiting. If this kept you on the edge of your seat, subscribe for more real-world military breakdowns. Like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.